I know that, over the past few years, we've really been talking about this whole kind of M&A theme with a lot of the big pharmaceuticals with their patent protections starting to sunset and, them looking at other companies to buy. Can you talk a little bit about, and I'll leave this for either one of you, talk about kind of big pharma as far as sort of some context and some of the maybe updates on that narrative that were discussed out at the conference?
Yeah, you guys have been right to highlight that over the past few years because there's been quite a bit of M&A and one may think with biotech, up off the bottom in 2025, valuations maybe are elevated, maybe big pharma is going to pull back. And if you listen to the management teams of the large pharmaceutical companies who presented at the conference, I'd say it's the absolute opposite. They are not looking to pull back. And I have some quotes that I've pulled in anticipation of this question. For Merck, they've invested $60 billion in M&A since 2021. So that's a
Wow.
big number, 6-0. And a quote from the conference is, "We're not done. We have more to do." Novo, their CEO came up and spoke, and he said, "We've got 20 billion to spend, 30 billion to spend, 40 billion to spend." Kind of joking around with the CFO that he'd spend more if the CFO would let him. So they're clearly in the M&A market. Pfizer, if you look at the balance sheet capabilities of all the large pharmaceutical companies, they're in the least attractive position. And even they said at the conference, we have $6 billion to spend on M&A and on the right candidates. AbbVie's another great example. We have financial capabilities, we have financial capacity. We wouldn't shy away from doing more deals. So there's just a smattering of a few of these, but there's definitely an appetite to continue to do M&A throughout 2026.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. Usually JP Morgan is associated, it's known as being a bellwether for the biotech space. So in prior years, a lot of acquisitions have been announced the first day of JP
Right,
Morgan. We did
right.
not see that this year. However, we have seen several acquisitions the few weeks prior to JP Morgan, and there was already one, this week after JP Morgan. And so I don't think that it's a negative read through that they weren't announced during the conference. I think a lot of meetings take place at JP Morgan, BD meetings between these companies and potential companies they'd like to acquire. So that really didn't, overshadow the enthusiasm we saw at JP Morgan.
Good,
It's
good.
it's it's hard to nail down exactly who companies will buy, but it's a conversation Anna and I are always having. What of the smaller companies we're looking at, maybe some of those micro caps even, or some commercialized entities already, what fits nicely into, Pfizer's book of business or AbbVie's or Novo's? Where may they target next? And so it's a conversation that we have. And last year, knock on wood, we were somewhat successful in the M&A game, so that's great.
So for active management, keep in mind that there's a lot of dry powder out there, and you never know, when and where it's going to happen. So that's one of the reasons why you hire an active manager in this space. So that I'm glad to hear that theme is alive and well, and we're going to continue to really kind of position that going forward. Let's